It was supposed to be a peaceful evening on the East River, until a towering Mexican Navy ship slammed into one of New York's most iconic landmarks. 2 people dead, nearly 20 injured, and a city stunned by a moment no one could have predicted. Welcome to Metroscope News. If you're into breaking stories that go deeper than the headlines, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. This story is wild, and we're just getting started. As the sun dipped behind the skyline, onlookers near Brooklyn's waterfront caught a bizarre sight. A massive military ship, proudly flying the Mexican flag, was scraping against the underside of the Brooklyn Bridge. It wasn't just a dent or a scratch. The ship's towering masts collapsed like dominoes, snapping one by one as horrified pedestrians pulled out their phones. "Holy crap!" someone shouted in one of the now viral clips. You could hear the panic in their voices, and the grinding metal told you this wasn't going to end well. Turns out, this wasn't a combat mission gone wrong. The ship was on a promotional goodwill tour, inviting New Yorkers aboard earlier that week to explore the vessel and learn about Mexican naval traditions. It was a floating ambassador of sorts, meant to showcase diplomacy, not destruction. But what was meant to build bridges literally collided with one. According to early reports from the NYPD, the vessel lost power shortly before the impact. That alone would be enough to cause problems. But investigators now believe it was a complete mechanical breakdown that stripped the ship of its ability to steer or stop. The ship's captain was attempting to leave Pier 17, bound for open waters. But instead of sailing away, the vessel veered off course and smashed directly into one of the bridge's pillars. The masts hit the underside first, with crew members still attached. Some sailors were left dangling high in the rigging, suspended above the river in harnesses, injured and unable to move. Miraculously, none of them fell, but several were seriously hurt as the massive metal masts splintered beneath them. Eyewitnesses described the scene as unreal. Others ran from the waterfront in fear, unsure if the bridge itself might come crashing down next. In the hours that followed, the New York mayor's office confirmed a grim update. 2 lives were lost, and at least 19 others were injured. For those on board, it was supposed to be a routine maneuver, not a life-threatening catastrophe. The Mexican Navy hasn't released full details on the identities of the victims, but the tragedy has sent shockwaves across both countries. This wasn't just any ship. It was a regal, tall ship, a training vessel and point of pride for Mexico, often used in international diplomacy missions. It had been scheduled to set sail for Iceland just days later. That journey has now been suspended indefinitely, with the ship held in place by tugboats, battered and broken, from symbol of strength to symbol of sorrow. Let's not forget the bridge. With over 100,000 vehicles and tens of thousands of pedestrians crossing it daily, the potential for mass casualties was terrifyingly real. But in a stroke of luck, or engineering brilliance, the bridge suffered no major structural damage. Inspections cleared it for use later that night. The bridge survived, but the trust of many New Yorkers didn't. The National Transportation Safety Board is now leading the investigation, alongside New York authorities. And while power failure is the leading theory, questions remain. Why didn't backup systems kick in? Was there human error involved? And how does a fully crewed military ship lose control in one of the world's busiest harbors? These are the questions Mexico and the US are now racing to answer, as the world watches. This wasn't just a freak accident. It was a high-profile failure of international coordination, naval protocol, and maybe even ship design. One wrong move, and a centuries-old bridge almost came crashing down. If you want to stay updated as this story develops, don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next piece of this puzzle. And if this left you stunned like it did us, drop a comment below. Should military ships be allowed that close to civilian infrastructure? We're reading your takes. This has been Metroscope News, where we dive deep and cut through the noise. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.